Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tarot the Stashway. This is episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tarot the Stashway. This is episode 31, and today, Linda de Gonzalez and I are talking about learning decks. We're glad that you're here. We hope you get something out of this. Please give this video a thumbs up. Do all of the YouTube-y things where you like and subscribe. Subscribing is free. If you would like to join Linda's channel, you can do that. Linda has
I have a membership, and I treat my members like gold.
They get special stickers. They get all sorts of things.
They get emojis. They get a Discord. They get like a chat room on Discord. Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
It's amazing. And so I am Tarot Stash. Thank you again for being here. We appreciate it. And as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really.
I want to ask you, Gerald, do you know how subtly intimidating it is in your intro to see that I'm taking notes? Yes, exactly.
Is that a problem?
No, not at all. Go right ahead. I'll just laugh.
Well, you know, I am a person who, when it came to learning tarot, I have a notebook.
Yes, and so I have several, yeah.
Yeah, and I have sheets. So what I'm doing is when you see this, I am actually taking notes. When I'm talking about tarot, I actually get things out. You can see I've got 4 or 5 different colors of pen because I feel I'm always growing and expanding.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just want to encourage people to take notes. It's fun. Because for me, taking notes help things stick.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Linda, how are you?
I'm great, Gerald. Thanks for asking.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some technical problems resolved, I hope. Let's all do prayers.
Yes. I love that. Yes, you did solve them. So, are you okay being right there with the chat in front of you, or would you like to be on the other side?
Yes, no, it's a great background. You know, my sweater makes a great background for it. So yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine.
Yes. I am doing very. Yeah. Oh, here you go. Oh, Lord. What are you two up to now? Well, we're talking about Tarot the Stashway. We're talking about learning decks.
Yeah.
I do have to say, I blame Linda for this topic.
Me?
Let me rephrase that. I give Linda full credit for this topic.
Me? I had nothing to, I don't even remember how it came up.
Well, it did come up in the sense of, well, let me take a step back and say thank you everybody for being here. I don't want to, you know, I want to say hi to everybody. We see everybody. What?
I said, hi, Hershey.
Hi, Hershey. Linda, Selena, Ashuman, Kaylee is here. So Maru, there's a lot of great people. Joanne, Harley. So it's wonderful to have everybody here. Paul. So if you read the tarot or you don't read tarot and you want to, there are several routes that you can do. One of them is you could watch the Tarot the Stashway video playlist, which is linked below. You can sign up for a class. What?
Do that. Watch Gerald's Tarot the Stashway video. I found them very, very useful.
Oh,
very
thank you.
You're welcome.
And so there are these There are learning decks. Okay, let me explain what I mean by a learning deck.
Hmm.
This is what came up because Linda, you have what I call as a learning deck.
Yeah.
Tarot with a learning deck. And so oh look, here's I could do that, put that up there.
Oh yeah.
And so what's the difference between a learning and beginner tarot decks? For me, learning decks are decks that have words and phrases written on them to help you with the understanding of the basic meanings. So I have something called the Apprentice Tarot deck featuring the Universal Weight. And what you will see is on this,
I have the Learning Tarot deck.
yes. And what you see on this is you see at the top upright meanings for the Nine of Wands. At the bottom, it's reversed. You have the reverse meanings. And then along the sides, you actually have additional information telling you about the definition of what wands are, what's the suit, as well as what the nines mean. So, what the numbers mean. This is what I consider a learning deck. It's a deck that has a lot of information on it and available to you. So, I don't know about people in the chat. When I was first learning tarot, I'd lay out a spread and then I'd get the little white book out and then I'd read that. How many people who are watching did that? Yeah, I did it. I did
In
it.
1970, that was all that was available. And unless you wanted to read what Carl Jung wrote about the tarot.
Yes, just a little bit of light reading.
Yeah, just, before you fall asleep at night.
Yes, there you go. And Purple Elephant Deb H did that as well. So that's a learning deck. A learning deck has lots of words on them, lots of phrases that gives you information
Yeah.
about them. Yep. And so
And
we see.
and the Witchy Cauldron's learning deck has the same kind of setup.
Mhm.
It also has chakras on there, and along the side, and it tells you whether it's a yes or a no card. There's astrological symbols on there, which signs and which planets. This isn't a very good example, but which signs and which planets are
Yeah.
ruled by this card, and it's the same setup. And I've seen a couple of other learning, what you define as learning decks, and they're the same kind of
Yes.
setup.
Yeah. So for me, I call a learning deck as a deck that has words and phrases on them to help you kickstart your reading. These are
Hmm.
things with information that you would see in a little white book or an accompanying uh, book.
Yeah.
If you, because there's lots of options.
Yeah.
What I consider a beginner deck is different. A beginner deck is something that does not have these words on it. The images are relatable to the person who is reading, and it helps them understand what that particular card means. So, the beginner decks are the ones that are not overly layered, not overly complex. They're very straightforward.
Do you have an example of a beginner deck?
Yeah, actually, a great beginner deck could be for people. It could be Life is Like a Board Game. A good beginner deck. The thing about this, though, right after I said that, I pulled this out. What it does is it gives you a really simple statement about what the
Eight of
Eight of
Swords, yes,
Swords
of
means.
course.
I would also say the Robin Wood Tarot for me what is a good beginner deck. The images are clear. They are not fraught with meaning and depth.
There is no big symbolism going on. You don't have
Yes.
to look at the colors and analyze the colors in the card.
Yeah. Well, and you can, but that's not the first thing that you have to
Yeah,
learn.
yeah.
So, and so that being said,
Okay, that's an interesting distinction. I would not have thought of either the Robin Wood or the Life as a Board Game deck as either of those as being beginner decks.
okay, what would you consider a beginner deck?
Well, you see, that's interesting to me. There, the what you distinguish between learning and beginner, I don't see any. To me, the learning decks are beginner decks. This is what you use when you're beginning, because then you don't have to memorize 78 cards and get lost in, okay, this is my problem because I overthink. Okay, for me, having being able to commit myself, to surrender myself to the process is
Mhm.
um, maybe more, maybe and certainly just as important as the actual results of the process. Do you know what I mean?
I do understand what you
So,
mean.
so I don't have to when I use this learning tarot, when I use the learning tarot, I don't I don't have to I can just surrender myself to the process, to connecting with the cards, to connecting with my soul, with my guides,
Hmm.
and just lay them out and just read and tell the story, tell the
Yes.
story of what the cards say. I don't have to look at it and go, holy shit, 3 of Swords, what's that again? I don't have to, I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So it's a really good crutch for me.
Well, and here's the thing. This is where we came up why this topic got caught into my earworm and on my paper was because it's this question right here. It's like, can you do a reading using a learning deck?
I don't even know why that's a question, Gerald. Come on. Of course you can. You can do readings with playing cards, for crying out loud. Like
Yes.
like your regular playing bicycle playing card deck.
Hmm. You
You
can.
can do readings with leaves,
Yes.
probably.
Well, and here's the thing. Let's pull back for a second. There's multiple ways to read tarot.
Mm,
You can read tarot by learning all 78 or all 156 meanings if you're using reverse cards. Uh
yeah.
you so that's one way to read. Totally legit.
Yeah,
Totally
absolutely.
legit. You
Yes,
can
you
you
get excellent results that way too.
you
I'm
do. You
I'm
do.
not, I absolutely will never throw shade on someone who does that. Ellie Dreams Down Under. She is
Mhm.
absolutely a rock solid reader who
Yep.
gets unbelievable results uh,
Yes.
from her cards, and she reads the language. To her,
Yes.
it's a language, and she reads it.
Yes. And yeah, here you go. The point of learning decks is to make readings easier. Absolutely. And so okay, so you
Mm,
can memorize the meanings. You
yeah,
can read intuitively.
yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
Or you can do a combination of both of those.
yeah,
And that's how I like to read. I think there's an opportunity for some more depth and connection to the divine or
yeah.
spirit, whatever. So,
Yeah, and I see readers, and sometimes this happens to me too. I see readers who only read intuitively, who use the cards. Linda
yes.
G. Um, she's probably the example that everybody knows about. Um, she says herself, "Don't ask me about what the card says because I use it to uh,
Yes.
I read intuitively. I don't have any idea what the meanings are."
Yes.
Um, and and I get that. It's a hook into your um, it's a hook into your creative consciousness
I love
that
that.
hooks you into the spirit guides, into
Mhm.
spirit world.
Yes.
And that's perfectly legitimate as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
It's equally legitimate to any other method that you want to
I
talk about.
agree. I agree. Celtic Tarot Sheila uses a deck with words on them. And she actually said, and I noticed this a couple of years ago when I was watching her, is she's like going, you know what? People say that this is a cheater deck or whatever, and let that go.
Yeah,
All these
yeah,
are little pieces of paper that give you information, and
yeah,
it is the reader's way of interpreting that information
yeah,
to do that.
yeah,
So I think it's really important that this is our opinion. And we're not talking down to anyone.
yeah.
And so um
Yeah, there's a lot of great comments. You guys are
there
really
really
brilliant
are.
today.
Aaron said, merge with the sensory experience as the cards unfold.
Yeah,
I like that approach, Linda. But it's good to have a foundation to build
yeah,
interpretation upon. It really is.
yeah, it is good.
Yes. And however you understand your cards and know how to interpret is what works for you. Yes.
Yeah. On the other hand, okay, so the devil has enough advocates. It doesn't need another one. Okay. So I won't say I'm playing devil's advocate, but we have oracle cards. The
Hmm.
tarot is an oracle. Not
Yes.
all oracles are tarot, right?
Correct.
So this tarot does have a language.
It
It
does.
does have a structure. It does have certain symbols now, but these were created by who Order of the Golden Dawn. Okay, in the latter part of the 19th and early part of the 20th century, that Order of the Golden Dawn took a whole bunch of tarot. This is my understanding of the history. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hmm.
Took a whole bunch of old tarot decks from like tarocchio, they were called, Italian and French and whatever from the 15th and 16th centuries, who knows, and put them together. And Pamela Coleman Smith did the. I think they just. My understanding is that they just gave her the sort of general thing of what they wanted out of each card. These men, these old white men. And um, they, well, patriarchy, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
and she brought her own intuitive interpretation to the symbols that were included on there. So the weird naked baby. Oh yeah, I should probably cover that up.
Yeah.
Uh, all of that kind of stuff all had meaning and was part of a language.
Yes.
So yes, it's valid to look at this and interpret it intuitively because somehow your subconscious will look at those symbols and provide a meaning for them. All right.
Yes.
If you can open your mouth and let your subconscious out. On the other hand, especially with the reversals, there are some very specific things that you probably most people won't get intuitively.
Correct. Yes.
So,
So I want to adjust something that you said.
yeah.
Pamela Coleman Smith created the Rider Waite Smith
Yes.
images. There is a separate deck. It's called the Golden Dawn, and so there's a slight variation between that. So, and
Oh.
Deb has said of the three decks that
Decks
came
that came
out
out
of
of the
the
golden.
Golden Dawn. So, and because the first decks were the Marseille, the
Yeah,
Tarot de Marseille.
yeah,
So I mean, and here's a great thing. I do understand part of the Golden Dawn process was you needed to create your own tarot deck to be able to elevate and to go to a next level. You creating your own deck and understanding it and allowing your nuances to come through was part of their process. So it's very interesting. I want to get caught up. So Deb said, for me, my beginner deck on my second time relearning tarot, the Taramuka spoke to me. When I saw it, I knew I could read with it. So I think a beginner deck is the one that connects with the reader.
Listen, what reader is going to pick a deck they don't connect with to read with? I mean, really,
Yes.
even on a real superficial level, like, oh my God, I love the colors, which is me
But
and
that's
the
still a legit reason. I am,
yeah,
there's lots of tarot decks out there. I have all of them. No, I have a lot of them.
yeah,
And it's the one that works for you. That's a key point about a beginner deck. You
yeah.
need to be
Okay,
pulled to it. You need to really, really like it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Timmy said the cards can be a portal to greater understanding of our human
Of
experience.
course,
In
that's
your
why they
opinion?
exist. Yes, that's what
Yes,
they're for.
absolutely.
That's what they're for.
And Terry said the variety of approaches and uses of the tools we use gives permission to others to explore their callings and approaches. Shine the light for all. Yes, Queen.
100%. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah. RWS was the modern iteration of the Marseille, I think. There is a lot of crossover with that. The Golden Dawn, Timmy and I talked a little bit about this on Tuesday.
Yeah.
The Golden Dawn reversed number 8 to be strength and number 11 to be justice because astrologically it worked for them.
And is that not the same thing with the Thoth deck? Well,
Um, yeah, I think, and I don't know the Thoth very well,
me neither.
so that's something that is on my to-do list of studies.
Well, you
So,
let me know because here's a deck that called to me that I was told is a Thoth deck. Oh, that's a Thoth deck. And I'm thinking, what the hell does that mean? And and I don't know. Yeah, the reversal of the 8 and the 11 or 13 or whatever it is. Uh, sure, but I don't see how that affects the readings.
yes, Thoth kept the Marseille
Oh,
order of the majors,
okay.
and the Thoth changes the order of the court cards, I believe. Yes. And
Okay.
yes, Timmy nailed this one.
Yeah, kept the
Um,
Marseille order.
Crowley was contrarian. Yeah,
No shit.
I know. Imagine that. Imagine that. All right. So I think, here's the thing. Can you do a reading with a learning deck? Yes, you can.
Yeah, absolutely,
Get
100%.
over your bad self, people.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't worry. I use learning decks. I have used learning decks when I was doing political reads because I didn't want to be too caught up in
The
my
intuition.
personal thoughts. I
Yes,
wanted to be able to go, okay, here's your
excellent
guidelines.
insight. That is such an excellent insight. And because you know what? Of course, because you're dealing with uh not a person, right? You're dealing with
Mhm.
a collective of
Yes,
information, an external actions beyond like reading for another person, because
yes.
that's external too. But yeah, that makes so much sense to me. It just sort
Mhm.
of went click in my head.
Well,
Yeah.
and yeah, and also when I first started to officially learn tarot and to take classes rather than just reading books, part of the thought process is, well, and is it 21 Ways to Read Tarot Cards by Mary K. Greer?
Yeah.
One of the first ways to read a tarot card is to name the card. This is the Four of Wands. Duh. And sometimes
So we forget the basics, don't we?
we do forget the basics. We
Salut.
do forget the basics. So Yeah. So Maru just got her first official Thoth, and the court cards are different characters too. No king, princess, prince, knight, and queen. So, yeah, the Thoth gives interesting names to the cards. Yes.
Strength is called lust. Well, then this isn't a Thoth deck.
Well, it could be, yes, it could be based on part of the structure. And so that being said, you know, this idea are, I wrote this down, are learning decks real decks? Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Duh. And
Like I don't even know how that's a question. Like, is it a real, you mean, well, okay, look,
it's a rhetorical question because
it is.
some people see people using one of these. People, I
And they
think,
get all
misinterpret them. Yes, they call them cheater decks. I like to say they're learning decks. It doesn't matter.
they're just decks.
It's just pieces of paper, people.
Yeah, get over yourselves, and I think that I think actually that it's a form of gatekeeping and saying I'm special and you're not, and I know how to do this without any sort of crutches, and so that makes me better than you, and you're not a real reader.
I think there is part of that, Linda. Yes, which we don't do that here at Tarot the Stashway. You do you, kids. You do you.
If it works for you, it works for you.
Yes. Yes.
That's right, Scotty boy. They used regular playing cards. I know people who read regular playing cards.
That's the first, cartomancy, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. And that's where Lenormand developed from, was from playing cards as well as tarot.
Yes. Timmy shared, I don't read from the Thoth often because the courts are different. However, I like to mix it up at times, and I get different read feelings from Thoth. It's legitimate, and that's a very key thing. I have decks that I use for certain types of readings because the energy of the reading matches the energy of that deck and how I interact with that deck. So, yes, yeah, that's hashtag truth.
Well, I mean, essentially, that's what reading the Akashic Records is, because I'm looking at the back of my eyelids.
Yeah. And yes, no two readers are alike. I agree with that. I also like to say we can all learn something from other readers. I watch a lot of people on YouTube. I watch a lot of other readers. It's fun. It's exciting. It's curious.
Yeah.
And so, by the way, Eva J said, I break out the book if I'm stumped on a card. I've done it on camera. I say I haven't pulled this card yet, and I look it up. Great. Great.
Do it. Normalize learning. Normalize not knowing and being willing to find out. I mean, it's one thing to not know, okay, but demonstrate, exemplify, embody the finding out process, that, okay, yeah, I don't know, I'll look it up.
Yep.
Because normalize learning. Yeah, exactly. Sharing your learning process, because it's a tough thing for grown-ups, like adults. Once you're past school and everything, it's a tough thing for grown-ups to say, I don't know. And they don't want to admit it, and they don't want to say it because they think it makes them look weak or stupid or whatever the hell, who knows. And like whatever your own personal, your own personal insecurity is, normalize that it's okay to not know and then go look.
Yes. Yeah. Tarot with training wheels gives us newbies and memory challenged people a break. I actually like that. training wheels. That's great. Yes. So we've also had a good reader can read blank cards. Yes. And Scotty Boy said, when one's ego is in check, we can learn so much from others.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
Selena's right. Bobby, myself, and Ramon are very different readers, and we learned the decks our own way.
Yeah.
Love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. And that means that you're reading okay, to me, this is just me. To me, that means that you're reading the deck authentically from your
Yes,
own spirit, from your own true being, your own. And so your relationship with the deck is deeply personal and individual, and nobody else has one like that. And so nobody else is going to get the same kind of readings you are. Okay.
correct.
So to me, that's like an ideal sort of approach, you
Yes.
know?
Oh, absolutely. We are going to share some of, well, I'm going to share some of my, what I call learning decks with people. So, but I do want to, yeah,
I only
yeah,
have one. I already shared it. You go
you
ahead.
already shared it, but well, I do want you to tell us why you like it because,
Oh,
and so, okay, yeah, oh, have a teachable spirit, absolutely. Aaron O'Nugent said, my great grandmother would use a regular deck of playing cards for reading. My family must have secretly thought it was cool because they'd talk about it long after she was gone. Yeah.
yeah.
And Tim has said, when I read the pips, I regularly do a Google search on my phone for Four of Swords and get an immediate cheat sheet for meaning.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are not familiar with the term pips, pips are the ace through 10 of the tarot deck, typically referred to as pips in the Tarot de Marseille. So,
Yeah.
oh, also the question and the context of the reading may draw something out of a card not inherent to
Excellent
its
point.
keywords. And
Excellent point.
yes. Well, and I love that because you and I read similarly, Linda, is we want the cards to tell a story. Integrative healing with sadhana teaches a class, and I took it. I took both levels really, really good because there is a story to tell. It's really very, very insightful. So,
Yeah.
um, okay. And I'm just getting caught up. Witchy best friend is here. And well, thank you. I'm going to put that up. Thank you, Scotty boy.
Thanks, Scotty boy.
So, oh yeah, I was surprised to it was surprising to many when Gerald combined decks. Yep, cut out
It
circles.
blew my mind because it just sort of like these two cards together, like whoa, a whole different vision. When I saw Gerald pull that first one, it's a whole different energy. It's a
Yep,
whole different vision. It just went, mwah,
yep, yep.
blew my
And
mind.
we've talked about this, Timmy. The idea. Timmy says I also don't like people handling my reading cards. I bought a large format RWS for the people to handle. Plus, it's more illustrative than my Marseille draw cards.
Yeah,
And here's the thing. This is in the Tarot the Stash Way playlist. I probably say this multiple times. Do not touch someone's card unless you are given permission. Period. Don't do it. I mean, and it's also part of that with the magic tool talk. If you're working with somebody who has spiritual tools, don't touch stuff.
ever.
You're not going to want to, well, I don't want somebody to touch my wand, my athame, my chalice, or my pentacles. No. So,
Well, not
so
without invitation anyway.
yes.
I don't read for others. Well, I mean I do, but online. I don't have like a booth at, tarot fairs or anything like that, or psychic fairs. And so I don't have that issue. And when I do read for people, it's people that I love. I know they're my
Hmm.
friends, they're my fam. Well, not so much my family, but you know what I mean. It's
Yes.
people that I know and love, and I'm happy to have them handle the deck. I'm happy to share that energy with them. So I don't actually yeah, I think that if I was going to read for strangers, um, and have them handle the deck, I would have a special deck for that, and I would be packing it in salt after every session.
Well, but I actually, when I first started reading, I wanted everybody's energy to join the deck. It was an invitation. Please shuffle the cards. Great. And that as a beginning reader, that worked for me. It
Uh,
may not work for you. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it. Yeah.
yeah,
Packing and salt. Yep. Yeah. So we have got, okay, this was my beginner landscape format. Picture next to text.
yeah.
Practical tarot wisdom. Yes.
It's your learning deck, not your beginner. Well,
Yes.
they're the same. Okay.
Well, and a beginner deck could be a learning deck, and a learner deck be a beginner deck. Maybe,
Sure.
maybe not. Who knows?
Sure, they can. I mean, yeah, why not?
Yes. Do you cleanse your decks like we cleanse our crystals? Linda, do you cleanse your decks?
Am I supposed to? I'm the
No.
only one who handles them. I don't feel the need to do that.
Great.
Um, I know there's people who not Ramon knocks on his deck. I don't do that between readings. I
Mhm.
don't. Um, I when I get my decks, okay, so I do have some things I do with decks. When I get a new deck, I sleep with it. Now, my most recent new tarot deck is the Witch's Tarot, and it's I decided that I would do a full lunar cycle with it under my pillow.
Sure. Yes.
So that's coming to an end, and I've pulled a few cards from it, and it's got a sense of humor. It's hilarious, in fact.
Hmm.
And so we'll see how that works. But I don't clean them. I don't knock on them. I don't do anything other than when I first get them, I put them under my pillow for a few nights.
Yeah.
Oh, now look what Selena says. Hang on. Let me
I
put
knock on mine between,
my fault.
it's okay,
We hit it.
between every reading, smoke cleanse and crystal cleanse.
See,
Cool.
I don't do that.
And by the way, you don't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
I do encourage people to have a ritual about how they do a reading because it gets them in that mindset and
Oh, I
that
have a
energy
ritual.
space.
When I'm going to do a reading, I have a ritual. I have a conversation with the deck and I kiss it. Okay, I know this sounds really ridiculous. Okay, but I'll show you what I do. I hold it next to my heart and I ask for its guidance and assistance in the divination that I'm about to do. I do the same with my spirit guides and angels,
Hmm.
the Akashic Records Masters. I bring them all in and say, I'm going to do this act of divination. I need some guidance and insight. Please help me. I really appreciate everything you've given me, all the gifts that I have. Thank you, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And then I go, okay, let's go.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, that's correct, Gerald. For me, it's my method and it works for me. And for that. And so okay. Um yeah, the ritual sounds like you.
It's my ritual. I made it up. Of course, it sounds like me,
Yeah.
you know.
So, and Witchy Best Friend said, I really like Unlocking the Tarot by Lisa Pepez. I just started tarot 3 years ago after only using playing cards, and it really helped. I like that. And so Tim shared, I anchor the cards with large silver coins as they sit in stacks on the table. I like to sweep the card table surface with my hands to clean away any of the nonsense that accumulates.
Huh.
Ritual is important.
Never occurred to me.
And yep,
Wow, I
things
must be a
should
real
clear and talk.
barbarian when it comes to reading tarot because none of
Yep.
that ever occurred to me.
Yeah.
Wow, this
Well,
is
and
so
this is something.
interesting. You guys, you chatters, you are so awesome. I'm learning so much from you.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. And you do you, boo. And Eva said, after I read the cards, I shuffle them a lot before putting them in the box. I
Yeah,
do that
me too.
too.
Me too. Yeah.
So, and okay. There was also something. Okay.
Well, I think it works for me, Selena. How would I know if it didn't? I guess my readings would be awful. You know, I would get, my readings wouldn't make sense.
Mhm.
How else would you know? If you feel connected and you feel like if you're the person that you're reading for is honest in their feedback and says, you know, none of that made any sense to me
Yeah.
at all. There's none of that actually resonated with me in any way, shape, or form
Yeah.
whatsoever. That would be a clue that I'm off track. Okay.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things of it's like you know the energy that is around you, like Janet DC says.
Yeah.
It's like if you know, and by the way, cleansing, Deb, Angela, and I think we did something about cleansing tarot decks or something like that. It's one of those things that um, you figure out what works for you. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, great. Don't do anything. By the way, do not do anything that I say without trying it out first. I am, you know, here, let me, I think I have a banner for this. These are our opinions. And thank you very much for respectfully engaging on this topic in chat and in comments. And it's like, dudes, people, it's like, we do us. That works. So, um, but okay. It's like greeting a friend before starting a conversation. Friends vibe with each other. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
That's the whole point of the ritual is to say, hi,
Yeah.
I'm going to
And
do
Selena says, and your readings aren't awful. So it feels good for you. Continue doing what it feels right.
yeah.
Linda, you do you. Okay.
I can't do anybody else. I tried and I was friggin' miserable. Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I can only do me. I can't do anybody.
well, but here's the thing, some people try to do others. They try to pretend to be like others. Oh, that person is a successful reader. I need to do it their way.
Mm,
No, you do
no.
it your way. You're going to have more authentic readings. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, and Lightfoot has mentioned, you know, smoke cleansing a new deck, all of that stuff. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And Scotty, boy, I'm the same way.
Yeah. Me too.
Uh,
Me
you know,
too.
and we'll put it this way: if I am watching one of your shows and you're doing readings, and I ask for a reading, that says a whole lot, I think. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. There's some readers that I don't want a reading from. Um, and there's other readers that I know well and I trust, you know, like Allie and
mhm,
Gerald and Val and old Diane G. And, you know, I mean, it's not like I'm real picky, but there are some people that I don't want in my energy reading me.
yeah. And Maru brings up, if someone says they don't understand their reading, I dig deeper.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. Leading time for the Platonic method, or no, the Socratic method of asking leading questions and saying, and let's talk about that.
Well, and also that does go back to the idea of a a well thought out question
Yes.
is key to a thoughtful reading.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, um,
Absolutely.
yeah. So,
Well, hi, Play Love, remember.
mhm.
Um, I love the comments that are coming, you guys. You're just so
Yeah,
awesome.
if you want to put any up, go ahead, because I would like to share some decks now. Uh, because I do want to say purchase responsibly, know your limits. We're here to share, not to sell.
He talks.
We're here, yeah, we're here to share. We're here to talk. So, um,
Sorry, Timmy, that's not funny, but it is funny.
I did say,
I laugh in recognition, okay?
yeah.
Not
Oh,
laughing at you, I'm laughing with the delight of recognition.
well, and I had said earlier, I'm like on,
Yeah.
are all learning decks, beginner decks?
Mm,
Yes, are all beginner decks, learning decks? Depends upon your definition. So, yeah,
yeah.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So again, there are lots of people who have flip throughs on YouTube. Go watch them
Yeah.
because for instance, one of the things that I like about this is I like how on the side it gives information about the number and the element.
Yeah.
That's
Those are
a
really
very
important,
useful thing.
important interpretive. It's important to interpret information. Like the numerology is important in tarot, and
Yes.
not a lot of people talk about it, but it is an important factor in interpreting tarot is the
It,
numerology of it. The
it's
four of stability, the five of
yes.
change, this, that whole progression from,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And so one of the other things, because I was like, I don't have a learning Marseille, and the Witchy Cauldron does have a learning Marseille. Learn the Marseille with meanings. It actually has a very nice little white book, which is readable.
oh my
You can
God,
read it.
without a magnifying glass,
I
holy,
know it's shocking.
somebody had a brainstorm.
And so we have the upright meaning, we have the reverse meaning, we have a maybe,
Mhm.
and then we have like a keep moving forward, just a quick summary.
Yeah,
So, yeah, flip throughs are great. Timmy has watched hundreds of them.
yeah,
So, what's great about this is these are, if you need, by the way, if you're wanting to learn, take a class. There's a lot of online classes. You may actually, you may actually find some local. Oh, what are you giggling about?
oh, Scotty boy, you're so funny. Look at this. We're talking about a legible, a legible thing. Oh, just for you, Scotty,
There you go. Linda's got all
I've got
7 of
all
her
of
eyes
the glasses.
activated.
I've got all, and I have also a jeweler's thing for when I'm knitting, like the kind that fits over your head and
Sure.
it's like magnifies 10 times. Yeah, I could scare yeah,
This is good advice. Watch a
yeah,
flip through more than once to be
yeah,
certain. What I do if I want to see, because on Tarot Stash there are flip throughs, because I just wanted to flip through and show the images. I didn't want to know people's impressions of those cards because that's their impression. I really wanted just to see the images because this is back in the day when you didn't see a lot of images.
yeah,
And now you can see that. So,
yeah.
and so there's, here's the Learn the Marseille, and yours is by Witchy Cauldron, isn't it?
Yeah, it is by Witchy Cauldron. I like Witchy Cauldron. I like the way they produced this. This has the Rider Waite Smith,
Mm-hmm.
the sort of like the grandmother of tarot,
Yes.
and this one is a better one. You can see the sign for Jupiter and Leo, the two the planetary and astrological sign that are associated with this card, which is the Six of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
It's a yes card. And some of these cards, not all, some of these cards also have a very quick meaning up along the side. I'm going to see if I can find one. I think those are mostly the court and the. I'm just give me a second here while I look for one.
Okay.
They. Oh well, this one is okay. So that here's the. Here we go. Here we go. The Tower. So, oh frick, I can't read it. God.
I was like, put your glasses back on, Linda. While you're putting your glasses on, everyone who is watching can give this video a thumbs up.
Yes, yes. Okay, so here we have the Tower, and there we go. Surrender to the storm, which is, I think, an excellent positive, or at least neutral,
Yes.
quick capsule message. Now, the thing about reversals is that it's not necessarily the opposite of the card's meaning. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's not, it can be a corollary. It can be in okay, so instead of being a coin, think of a cube. All right. So if you have a coin, you have this or you have that. If you have a cube, you have many choices defining this shape, this event, this mindset. Okay.
Yes.
And the Tower, if I may be so bold, is a perfect example of this, because the reversal of the Tower is resisting change, averting disaster. See, resisting change is one whole mindset
That's a
away
different mindset
from averting disaster. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Avoiding tragedy, delaying the inevitable, and avoiding loss. So you have the emotional states of resistance, averting, avoiding, and delaying.
Yes.
Averting is one thing, it's not the same as avoiding, and delaying is a whole other thing. So you see, the reversals are not necessarily the opposite of chaos, destruction. See, these are not opposite of chaos.
I did a show with Thomas from Tarot Your Way where we talked about reversals. I see Eva has said I won't confuse myself with reversals. When I first started learning tarot, I did not read reversals because the person whose book I was reading, Robin Wood, and in the Robin Wood book, she doesn't read reversals because if there is a struggle message or something like that, there is a card to tell you that. That being
true.
Yes. That being said, sometimes like a Seven of Cups, which is that card of wonder and fantasizing and daydreaming, reversed means you're done daydreaming. Now do something.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But
which is not the opposite.
It is not the opposite. But Timmy, this is a very thoughtful question. Thank you. Also, when I was speaking with Benabel Wynn, the creator of the author of the Holistic Tarot, and I did an interview with her about the Spirit Keeper Tarot, and there's a big book on that. She was talking about reverse meanings, and it was very, very impactful. So, okay. So one of the other cards, one of the other decks that I have, which is, I would say is a learner deck, is this one, the 5-cent tarot. Why do I say this is a the 5-cent tarot is a learner deck? Is because the format is very clear. We have information upright and reverse. And then there's also different words associated with each direction.
Keywords. I love it. Yeah.
Keywords. This is actually, this is one of those things for me. The aesthetic of this is beautiful. this just makes me giggle. It's a very pip feeling deck. But there's also information related to the animals that are on here. So I think that's
Yeah.
very helpful.
You're welcome, Timmy. Anytime. I'm
Yes.
full of them.
This has also got I think, a very nice little white book.
I like that deck. I don't have it and I haven't used it, but I think it's going to go on my list because I find it very clear and very I when I've seen the flip through, I've seen a couple of flip throughs on it actually. And mm, sorry, Madame Maru just distracted me. Would you say opposed? Opposed to what? You mean the no, to me you mean the reversals? To me the reversals have nothing to do with opposition necessarily. Some of them are, of course,
Yeah.
but saying, like that, the example of the Seven of Cups is perfect. The reverse meaning is not stop daydreaming. It's not you're wasting your time. It's not, your castle's in the air, never going to come to fruition. So like,
No.
get off your ass and put it and make it real.
Yes. Now, so that's an interesting show possibility. If I have a deck, you could interview me about this deck as a way before you purchase it or before you put it to your list.
Yeah.
Lisa Papez and Supportive Tarot, she and Peggy do great shows
They
about
do. They do.
about that.
They do.
So
They're like my Bible for decks. Do you interview your decks, Gerald?
I do.
Me
I do
too.
interview my decks. Yes.
Yeah, me too.
So here's another deck that I think this is a
Oh,
recent acquisition. It's the Word Cloud Tarot, the Happy Toast Tarot. It is a deck that is, if you're familiar with word clouds, these are all words that people have associated with this card. It adds a bit of bibliomancy
it
to
does. That's
reading.
exactly what I was thinking.
And so the great thing about this is it does give you whole possibilities of different word associations. I am a
That's where
person
your
who,
intuition comes in.
yes, yes. I like word association. I like having that. If you were to look at my notes, I've got lots of words that are there. And then if I'm looking at multiple cards using this one, Thomas from Tarot Your Way and I did a deck casual about this. We talked about it. We've done readings with it. So if the same word shows up on multiple cards, there's something to pay attention to. Yes. So, and I had a
Yeah,
reverse thought. If a card is drawn for you is not your state of being, the reversal card itself.
I don't even understand that.
Card drawn for you is not your state of being.
Is your state of being the
It's not
reverse?
your state of being. It very well could be. This is a deep philosophical
I
question.
don't even know how to approach that.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about even how to approach that because that's way deeper than like I'm not that smart, Timmy, okay? I'm just not. I know a lot of shit, but I'm just not that smart. Okay. I have a book of words that I've compiled all the words for each card. Oh,
That's
Pamela.
a great way to learn.
How
Really
spreadsheet
powerful way.
on you.
Yeah.
How spreadsheet. Whoa.
Yes. Oh, spreadsheets. Yes. Timmy said the new card drawn is your new state.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah,
And
because I mean that
yes.
isn't that past, present, future readings? Isn't that what we, you
Yep.
know?
Yep. Oh, yeah. It's very, very insightful.
Oh, yeah.
Very insightful. So
Yeah.
now this one, here's one that might surprise you. And I do call it a learning deck. It's the Sassy Dragons Tarot.
It is a learning deck. You're absolutely right. I agree with, well, I don't know if you're right or not, but I agree with you.
And the reason I find this is a learning deck is because This has, and by the way, this is the not safe version, not safe for work version. There's good information down below, and it's more than just a word.
Yeah.
Son, let your freak flag fly. Be yourself, and success will follow.
Yeah. It's a great deck.
F around and find out. Actions come with consequences. It's time to face the music.
Yes. Yes.
So there's something to consider for that. And I know that that's a bit of a surprise. Some people go, well, is that a learning deck? I think it is. I think it's quite
Sure.
good.
Sure.
Quite good.
And it's one that also lends itself to intuitive readings
Mhm.
because the images are easy to access, they're easy to hook into. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so Pamela said, I find reversals very meaningful. I don't shuffle them in, but I find it helpful to consider the flip side of any card as a pitfall to be aware of.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so,
And some is there a moon deck? That's the latest.
probably
Yeah, probably. I don't I
a moon
there's,
tarot, or just because there's moon oracle decks
yeah,
out
there's
there.
lots of moon oracles.
So,
There's
and
lots of moon oracles, but
yeah,
for moon tarot, deviant moon, is that a tarot or an oracle deck?
the deviant moon is a tarot.
There.
So here's a question: can you make your own learning deck? Yes.
Of course.
Do you want to know how to make your own learning deck?
I can, for me, I would just take a deck I have and write on it.
Well, Linda,
I
how
know.
creative.
How naughty, right? Writing on a
Well,
deck.
and it does
Oh,
freak
God.
people out because sometimes people don't think you should be writing on your decks.
Defacing.
And well, it's mine. I recommend you practice. Maybe use a Sharpie. Hashtag not sponsored or anything like that. And I think it's also. Oh, wait a minute. We the Moon is a tarot deck.
Okay. I've never heard of that one. I'll have to look up a
So, and yes, that's the one that Terry was thinking. So,
I know,
because
Philistine. Absolutely barbaric, isn't it? Ah,
yes,
how can I
and
even call myself a reader? I'm willing to write on my decks.
well, see, and let me tell you, if you want to learn about tarot and you want to learn about the deck, writing on it, it does give you a sense of commitment to, oh my gosh, I've written on this.
Yeah,
I've got to make sure that it's right. I have done that with the Witch's Wisdom
yeah,
tarot
yeah.
because the Witch's
Wrote
Wisdom,
on it?
it's very different. I've actually written on it,
Yeah.
and this has been
Oh my
very, very useful for me. The Witch's Wisdom, stay tuned, we're going to do a show on this. I Because it's the major arcana are backwards.
yeah,
How about a bit of a mind blow there?
yeah,
So I did put into one corner the traditional card
yeah,
association because it worked for me.
yeah,
That's what's important.
yeah.
So,
Let's see
Linda,
what's
what is
going on.
the paper quality
Paper
of your
quality?
beginner deck?
Well, I mean, it's easy to shuffle. It's somewhat flexible, but it doesn't like I can riffle shuffle it and it won't hold the bend, if you know what I mean. It's a good size for my tiny, delicate, feminine, flower-like hands. Do
Mhm.
not show me your small hands.
I won't show you my small hands. I'll show you my tiny hands.
Ooh, okay. Anyway,
They
I can
make
hold it.
everything look bigger.
I can hold it comfortably. in my hands. I'm trying desperately to keep a straight face and not succeeding very well. Anyway, I can hold it comfortably. It shuffles really, really well. Um, and I have absolutely no complaints about the quality of the deck itself as a physical object. It's the edges are smooth. It's
Mhm.
not sticky. It never was sticky and it's not particularly slippery either. It just shuffles the way I think a deck should shuffle, comfortably and easily. And the thing I appreciate the most about it, of course, is that I can hold it to shuffle it.
Yes. I also think that that's another thing that is a benefit of watching flip throughs so
Yes.
that you can actually find the true size of a deck and you
Yeah.
can see the cards being folded or shuffled in action. So, yes, Scotty boy, it's the imprinted with your own personal take of the card meanings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Witch's Wisdom is an awesome deck. That's the one that's under my pillow now. I keep calling it my witchy sister, but it's the one that's under my pillow and will be there until the full moon. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's another deck that I fell in love with.
Yeah. And
Oh, is
the
that what you meant about it? Okay, so Scotty, I misinterpreted your question because I thought you meant the actual physicality of the deck. The true meaning of the cards, um, I believe is accurate. I get good readings from it, or at least that's the feedback that I get. And people, when you get readings from readers, no matter what kind of reading it is, do not hesitate to be honest about your feedback, because that's the only
yeah.
way we have to improve. If you just
Yes.
keep telling us we're wonderful, well, okay, I don't have to change what I'm doing. If you
Mhm.
say, Linda, like, that's just not that there's no such thing like that in my life right now, then I go, okay, all right, let's try this again or
Yeah.
whatever. But I change my approach. I hope improve, but I change my approach.
Julian, I think the artwork. Julian has asked, "What do you think of the Thoth tarot deck?" I haven't worked with the Thoth. I do like the artwork. I like the images a lot. I have a couple of books to help me with my learning on it. It is a um, soon to be in the queue of learning. So
Now, I I was told that this is a Thoth deck, but it has kings in it. Not only does it have kings, it has female kings and male kings in it. So it does have the reversal, like as Timmy
yes.
pointed out, the inherited from the Marseille deck. I get great readings out of this, but this one I have to confess I read more intuitively
Yes.
than I do by the, canonically, let's say. I read it
Mhm.
more intuitively than I do canonically. And the thing that drew me to it was the art and how much it just like grabbed me.
Yes.
So that's I don't think this is a Thoth deck. If it's got kings, how can it be Thoth? So
When people say it's a Thoth deck, I don't exactly know what they mean
and what
anymore. I
difference
haven't
does it
really
make?
considered it.
You
So
know,
and so like I said, there's different styles of there's the Thoth, there's the Marseille, there's the Golden Dawn, there's the Hermetic Tarot.
yeah.
So there's lots of different tarot decks out there. When we're talking about learning decks specifically, and this is Gerald, it's not Linda, is saying these are decks that have words and phrases printed on them to help you learn and to
Yeah.
help you did to help you well, they're like training wheels. So you could do readings. And by the way, one great way of learning tarot is to read a lot of tarot, like do a lot of readings.
Yeah, on anything. Should I go get groceries today? Uh, you
Yeah.
know, should I phone so and so? Like just on anything, anything, anything. Uh, I stay away from political stuff, but I sometimes read for myself on political
Hmm.
stuff. Um, yeah. Julien Dautel asked, should I see this is exactly, hang on a second, let me put that. Oh,
That
you
one.
did. Okay. See, that's the kind of thing you should be doing with your tarot decks is asking
Hmm.
if you, ask it questions, any questions.
So what was the name of it? Okay.
This is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. It's by Katrine Vels-Stein. It is, I love this deck very deeply. I am, um, and it was an impulse. It was an impulse thing, okay? Because I already had the Oracle of the Mystical Moments, and and I and I mean the imagery is absolutely Four of Pentacles.
Hmm.
Um, the imagery is absolutely, oh, we were talking about the Seven of Cups earlier. Look at that image.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous? To me, the images just they
Yeah.
sort of explode in my brain. So it's not a Thoth deck
Yeah.
because it has kings.
Yeah.
Um,
Pamela did say the thought has keyword on each minor. Some decks use those words, so it's called like thought.
okay.
And it's like, there you go. That's something, but I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
Pamela.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not for everyone because, like I said, how are you going to choose which kings to use?
Yeah.
Also, it has um, two emperors. There's a female emperor and a male emperor, and I'm not even going to try to look for it. But uh, um, but yeah, this is mm, this is a really important deck in my life as a reader.
Pamela asked Linda, does
Oh,
that deck have some keywords on the minors?
no, no, it has no keywords anywhere. It has the art and it has the name. Hold on for a second while I find Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. This is one that I just love. Look at that. Look
Yes.
at that. It just says Nine of Pentacles. There's no keywords anywhere. There's a happy little bird bringing messages to somebody who's carrying the entire harvest on her head. And she's decorated. Look at her.
Hmm. I also think sometimes people will talk about Thoth as being with strength is 11 and justice is 8,
Yeah.
perhaps. So, but you know what? The labels don't matter. Do they work
Yeah.
for you or do they not work for you? And I think this has been a great conversation. We've been at this an hour and 15 minutes almost,
We're
Linda.
not done.
We're not?
See, no, this can't be a Thoth deck because 8 is strength
Yep.
and 11 is justice. Isn't that how it's supposed to be?
That's one way of doing it.
Oh, okay. So it's the reverse from the rider weight. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
I
Oh,
believe so.
okay. You see, I don't really care what number is what because what comes up is
Doesn't
what comes
matter.
up. You read what you get, you
Yep.
know?
Yep. I think this is one of those things that, okay, so we've talked about these learning decks. Do people, please let me know in the comments after the video if you would like me to do a show about beginner decks. What are some good beginner decks if people are wanting to
Yeah.
learn to read tarot?
Yeah.
So, and
Good for
so,
you, Julien.
yes, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely, 100% you should.
Yep. So,
Yep, yep, yep.
so, okay. All right. Well, do you have any things to share? What's coming up for you?
At 2 o'clock, and thank goodness the technical issues seem to have been resolved because I didn't get booted once, she said, crossing her fingers. At 2 o'clock Pacific time this afternoon, I'll be on doing Into the Ether with Diane G. We'll be doing
Mm-hmm.
Hashing Records readings and clearings. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern, um, on my channel, I'll be hosting Brit. Did someone say shenanigans? She was so kind as to do a couple of shows with me earlier this year
Uh-huh.
on mudras. We had such lovely
Oh,
conversations.
yes.
Yeah, that shenanigans. Um, and let's see, on Saturday, you and I and Purple Elephant Deb H, I believe, we're
Yep.
doing a conversation on creativity. And let's see, next week, oh my God, Gerald, I just can't get away from you. Look at this. Next Monday at 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern, Gerald and I are going to be doing self-love, self-worth, and self-acceptance, which is a
Mm-hmm.
regular sort of thing that we do.
Yep.
It's, yeah, I love shenanigans too, Scotty boy. She's fabulous. And Tuesday, the 24th at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, I'll be simulcasting from Deborah Zakow's channel. I'll be her guest.
Nice.
And then at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific and 5 o'clock Eastern, I'll be hosting Akashic Adventures.
So essentially, if everybody subscribes and rings the bell to be notified, you won't miss any of the shows.
Yeah, you ring the bell, make sure that it's solid. You just go in there and ding it, and you'll be notified. So subscribe to my
Yes.
channel, please. Subscribe to Gerald's channel, please, and you'll find out all the shenanigans that we get up to.
Yes. I have a show about the herb thyme tomorrow with Diana, oil painter. I'm looking forward to that. And then I have a yes or no readings with Hershey and Thomas.
Oh, those are always fun. I like those.
Those are. I do want to say thank you to everybody for watching. Go back. If you go back and you are watching the video, please leave a comment.
Yes.
First of all, let me know if you want me to do a beginner deck show, some beginner decks. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Linda. This has been delightful.
Thank you, Gerald. This was a really interesting conversation, and I think we could do this whole thing again because there's so much to explore about the topic.
There
Oh,
really
Pamela
are.
Batchelor wants to know if there's a solstice show. Um, I think this. I don't know. We're doing the
At this,
creativity conversations that day.
well, yeah, that's I'm not doing a long stash. The schedules are such that it doesn't quite work that way.
Oh,
But this is what happens. So, but all right, everyone. Thank you,
love
thank you,
you.
thank
You
you.
guys are so awesome. You chatters,
Yes,
you just bring it every time. I'm
yes,
so happy to be part of this.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.